Okay, so this is question number 1 from the SAT number 10, and this is the first question for the test, obviously, so let's jump into it. So this is from the literary passage that starts pretty much every SAT, and this is the first question out the gate, and it says the main purpose of the passage is to. So we typically expect these types of questions at the first ones after the passage. We can call them big picture questions. They'll ask things about the main purpose, they'll ask things about a common theme, they'll ask things about the main function, the main idea. So normally what I suggest with these types of questions is to solve them after you've solved all the other questions. The reason why is because our first reading of the text maybe won't be that in-depth. But by the time we answer all the other questions relative to the text, we've already read a good majority of it. So we'll be in a better position to answer this question here. But we don't always need to do that. It's not always the most optimal thing to do, the most efficient thing to do. So kind of what do we do? How do we approach a question that we're just starting for the first time? So usually if it's not a literary passage, if it's a scientific passage, historical passage, when we look for the main purpose, we're going to go back and look for information dense places. What I mean by that is places in the text that tell us really clearly what our thesis might be, what the text is about. And usually we can find 1 or 2 or 3 sentences that really clearly express this. And those are typically found in the introduction. That's one place to look for them. And the little blurb at the top of the page, that's one. And the conclusion as well. Although we have to have some other reading skills to kind of determine, is this the thesis or not? But generally we can do that. With a literary passage, though, it's a little bit different because these literary passages don't have main arguments. They don't have a thesis. They're just a sequence of events with some different themes and maybe, a few different meanings at the end. But they don't work in the same way. So how do we approach this? The way I would recommend it is by just going through the answer choices and just trying to eliminate options, right? And this is going to require a general understanding of the text. I don't have the text here. We'll go over the text in a different video. But basically, it requires going through them and just eliminating the options that are wrong. So, for example, A says, show how an event forced the narrator to reevaluate his perspective on his childhood. There is an event, and there are some reflections on the childhood, right? These two men meet, and they think about their childhood. But this part here, reevaluate his perspective, is something that we don't have evidence for in the text, and so we can eliminate that option. B would say analyze how past experiences shape the narrators and another character's future. Again, there maybe is some analysis of past experiences, or at least a mention of past experiences, maybe not analysis, but what we can eliminate this for is shaping the narrators and another character's future. This connection between the past and the future is not present in the text. We can eliminate that one as well. B, reflect upon the changes that people go through as they give up on their childhood dreams. So we can look at this option here. I would say that give up on the childhood dreams has what I call pejorative flair. I know that's a big word. I'll get a better name for it. But basically, it means anything that kind of has a negative aspect towards a character in the text or a negative idea in the text tends to be wrong. Give up on the childhood dreams is kind of one of those things, so it's probably unlikely to be true. And sure enough, there's really no reflection on that. There are reflections on the changes people go through, maybe reflections on the past, but not on how people give up on their dreams. So C is wrong. D, describe an accidental meeting, reveals the narrator's relationship with the character. This happens to be true. It's an accidental meeting, and then just reveals this relationship. Notice how general this is. It almost basically says nothing. Describe, right? It's not making a point, it's just describing it. And then it's revealing a relationship. To describe and reveal a relationship is as general as it gets. So that's usually the right answer anyways. So that's going to be our answer, D.